Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about Sky from Black Ink. This is part 2 of the interview. So we're going to listen to it and see what we think of it. Let's get to it.
In jail, you would think about certain things while you were in jail.
Yeah.
What were some of those things that you were thinking about?
I mean, like, cause I ain't really had no family growing up, so I had started gang banging when I was young, and so like
Okay, he says that he didn't have any family when he was young, so he started gang banging. So I thought he had an adoptive family. So why is he saying he didn't have any family? He didn't have anybody around, nobody, not his father, not his mother, not his adoptive parents, or was he adopted? Let's just keep listening.
I don't know. All I did was like I had spent a lot of time like just finding a way for me to eat. You know what I'm saying? Like get
Mhm.
my own shit. You feel me?
Mhm.
And so like like I wanted to get out, but I had nothing to get out for. You feel me? No
Right.
reason to live to get out for. You feel me? Like, oh yeah, there's tons of females. Oh
He said he had no reason to live and no reason to get out. Some people do join a gang because they want to be a part of a family. They want to be a part of something. Like I was saying in my other videos, people just want to feel like they belong to something. And he said he didn't feel like he had anybody, nobody to turn to. He needed to eat. He didn't really have a reason to live. And for a young man that's the age of 19 saying this is really, sad. But he's not the only, African American black men that have felt this way. So we're going to continue to listen.
yeah, that's good. But at the end of the day, how I'm gonna get my money without robbing and stealing? You know what I'm saying? And selling dope. You feel me? That's not what I want to do. You feel me? I'm 19. I go to prison for this shit that I had. You feel me? So
So let me ask you, while you were in prison, did you see your mom on TV?
oh yeah, I seen it.
Okay. Now, what was that like, being where you were and then seeing your mom on TV? How did that make you feel?
A lot of fights.
Now, what do you mean a lot of fights? What kind of?
Like
Why a lot
you
of
know what I'm
fights?
saying? Like you know how when you young, like dudes when they young, niggas when they young, they be like, oh yeah, your mama, ooh, you feel me?
Meaning that she's attractive.
Yeah,
Right. And she is.
yeah.
She's a very pretty
to
lady.
them she is. To me, she just another mother. You feel me? But the fact that somebody will say something slick to disrespect me, you feel me? Because I'm not finna disrespect your mom or
Right.
your granny.
He said the fact that somebody would say something slick while he was locked up because he's not about to disrespect their mother or their father. I mean, their mother. So he was saying, like, they say something slick, or, oh, like, your mom got a nice butt, or your mom got nice breasts, or your mom knows how to dance. So people are going to try you while you're locked up. And this is what he had to face at the same time, not having communication with his mother at this time and seeing her on TV. Then also having the issues of feeling like nobody loves him, feeling like he's alone, feeling like he doesn't have anything to live for. And he's 19 now, but he was younger then. And it's just, it's disheartening to hear this, And, like I said, many young men face the same problem. And it's just like they need love. We all need love.
Because you
For
look a
your
lot like
sister,
your mom.
you feel me? But it's just like it's a sense of protectiveness because like I always had females in my life growing up. You feel me?
Hmm.
So I protect them a lot more than I would a nigga because I don't like older niggas. I don't like authority. You feel me?
Hmm.
And Sky doesn't like authority either. So they do have a lot in common. So he said he was very protective of women because especially when a young man doesn't have that love that he's supposed to have from his mother, growing up, sometimes he reaches out and latches on to different other women or different other figures, and sometimes these women can be positive or negative. It all depends is the draw of the hat. So this is sometimes like how men get into bad relationships or pick the wrong woman or end up losing their life over women because they're still searching for that nurturing love. They're still searching for that love of their mother, and sometimes they pick the wrong people with the wrong qualities, and they end up getting in trouble or getting murdered.
feel protective of her, but I don't, like I said, I don't need anything from her. If anything, I want, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to know her, but I don't need anything from her.
So he's saying, so we can squash all the rumors if this is absolutely positive. He doesn't want anything from her. He doesn't need anything from her. What he does want is to get to know his mother. So, his father could have helped persuade for him to do this interview, but he also could be reaching out to his mom this way. I don't know why they couldn't talk over the phone and, see if they could build a relationship and talk to each other. But I guess the phone wasn't feasible. I guess doing this interview with thisis50.com was more feasible to try to get the message out to Sky.
You feel me?
Gotcha. Now, did she know that you were in jail?
Yeah, she knew. And if you want to be 100 all the way, like, I don't know the names of the people that said this. I mean, I know the names, but I'm not gonna say the names. But if you gotta say you're not gonna fuck with I'm not a sex offender. You feel me? I went to jail for selling dope and aggravated assault. You feel me? Evading arrest. I ain't a pistol charge, but I beat that. But if you gotta say if my son is a sex offender, I'm not gonna fuck with him, then after damn sure I'm not gonna fuck with you. You feel me?
Who said that?
So I guess he's saying that people saying that the reason why Sky didn't mess with him or bother with him is because he got locked up as being a sex offender. He's saying that he wasn't a sex offender at all. That he was saying that he got charged with like drugs, evading arrest, and assault and battery. I guess with another gang member because he said he was in a gang. So how do you feel about that situation? If one of your family members, or no, if one of your children were locked up as being a sex offender, would you turn your back on that individual? Please let me know in the comments. It'll be greatly appreciated.
From what I'm told, that's my mother said that. And nobody finna lie to me saying my mother said something like that, you feel me? Because I'm gonna eventually see her and I'm gonna confront her about it, you feel me?
Okay, so right now it's just hearsay. Right?
Yeah, but you gotta put, if you, I mean, there's two sides of the story, you feel me? You hearing this from multiple people, you feel me? Like, this shit really happened. I got paperwork saying what I really did, you feel me? So I don't need to lie about nothing I'm talking about, you feel me? So it's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you always gotta ask yourself. I asked myself what I did. Like, I wasn't a good enough son or some shit. I was an ugly son or some shit.
You see what he's saying? These are characteristics that hurt individuals, especially children growing up when their parents just totally, disappear from their life. Or he said that he felt like he was an ugly son, or he wasn't a good enough son. And that's what a lot of people that been neglected by their biological family and just by, people are supposed to be their nurturers in life. And he said this is so sad for him to say that. I feel like maybe I was ugly, maybe I wasn't good enough. And then you see Sky, that's on Black Ink, she's getting surgery, she's doing everything to make herself feel good because she didn't feel good about herself, and her son is suffering from the same thing, but he's thinking he's not good enough for her because he thinks that he was ugly or he wasn't a good enough son. So you could see like where Sky has a delay with her. She's worried about her image and how she looks, and having her body stretched out and everything because she had 2 kids, and how she felt insecure and she wanted to change her body. And then you get her son feeling like he's insecure and he wasn't ugly or he wasn't a good enough son because his mother and his father neglected him. But right now he's really talking about his mother at this time and point. But so what it goes to just show you is that this is a sad world, and this is how this young man could be involved in anything, and people can persuade him because he doesn't understand where he come from, who he is. He doesn't really know nothing about himself. All he does know is his mother and his father disappeared. His father's back in his life, but his father said he would have never disappeared if he would have known. That's up in the air. But he's saying Sky that knew that he was locked up. And so I hope there's some way that she does reaches out to her son, because even if she's upset with him doing this interview, he just said, I feel like I was ugly, I feel like I wasn't a good enough son. And this is a child, so that's already psychological issues going on with him, especially at the beginning of the stages of a child's life, that's when they get the most nourishment. That's when they learn the elements of life, love, happiness, joy, and all this other stuff. And he didn't experience that stuff. So, you know, we can't go back to the past, but what she can do is make it right now, which the father is trying to do, is make it right now. But this goes out to a lot of young kids that are in this situation when their parents abandon them or their parents forget about them.
I don't know, but like it just always feels like I never did enough,
Mhm.
or I could have did more. But in reality, it was the other way. You feel me?
Right. Okay. So I know we had talked about this before, but I have to, readdress it. Do you think there will ever be a reconciliation at any point in time? It may not be now, it may not be tomorrow, but a reconciliation where you could just get closure. Would you allow your mom to have that moment with you?
It's nah. I mean, she could have had that moment a long time ago. If anything, she would want this moment to benefit for herself, bro. I don't do this shit for the money. Fuck that shit, bro. If anything, you feel me? Like, I would have loved to have a relationship with her a long time ago. You feel me? But
Hmm.
that shit, I'm a grown man. I'm not a grown man to some people, but to me, I'm a
Right.
grown man for all.
But see, he's saying that the doors are closed to that situation, but you can tell by this interview the doors are not closed, and you can tell that this young man is still hurt, and this young man do want a relationship. And if Sky does come at him, with open arms and say I'm sorry for what I did, and to truly apologize for the steps and the things that she did towards him, and explain to her how her life was and how she wasn't able to be a proper mother to him at the time. So that's why either she gave him up or she lost custody and they went to child services. But I believe if she turns over a new leaf and come for her son, like the way that she cried on TV and the way that she cried about the issues that she was going through, if she comes to this young man, he will open his arm to his mother, because you can tell by his body language that he's still looking for his mother's love. And I know some people might say he's a grown man, but he's a grown man that never had his mother love. So he needs that love. He needs to know his past in order to move over to his future. And if he can shape his past better with finding out everything verbatim with what happened with his mother and him growing up, and then building a relationship to the future, he can grow up to be a productive young man. And I'm not pointing a finger at anybody, because we're lucky, they're lucky to be alive, he's lucky to be alive, Sky's lucky to be alive, the baby father's lucky to be alive, because it seems like they grew up in a very hectic time without any adult supervision, or without any emotional support or financial support, mental support, just support in everything. Things that you need to develop as a human being, they lack that of. And a lot of people lack that, especially when people have multiple kids and can't take care of them financially or mentally, because they're suffering through their own problems. So as Sky's on this show fixing herself and making herself a better life, she got to come back to her past and patch up the wounds in her past, so she can move forward too and have a productive life, and her past can't come back and eat at her like it is now with him doing this interview. And people saying it's in Duchess's shop. Some people say it is, some people say it's not, it's just a similar couch. I don't know, you be the judge.
All the shit I've been through to where I am today.
And you're 19.
I'm 19.
Okay.
But my birthday August 10th. So that's when
Okay.
I turned
That's
18.
3 days
Hearing
away.
him even say he don't want a relationship with his mom, it hurts.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I promote him having a relationship with his mom.
Mhm.
He needs to know his mom.
Why?
Every child needs
why-
mom and dad.
But I think it's
So now his father's saying that it hurts him to hear this, but he's saying that every child needs a mom and a daddy, and that's very true. That's why, it takes two to make a thing go right. So, and the father said it hurts him. So hopefully he is adamant about his son having a relationship with Sky, because as Sky is working on herself, as we see on the show, she can work out the relationship with her son. But yes, this is sad because of just many different factors.
Nah,
It's totally
if you was in my situation, you was my situation. Your mother ain't never did shit for you, feel me? And a complete stranger you don't even know, you just heard of, you know of, you don't even know. They do something more for you than your own mother did for you. You feel me? They did something more. What would you think? You feel me? I'm closer to her than my mom's.
Who are we talking about?
Just anybody, period.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever had my back when I couldn't even have my own,
Mm-hmm.
for the clothes on my own back, you feel me?
Mm-hmm.
The shoes on my own feet, you feel me? Get me out of jail, you feel me? Like,
I don't know. He said he's closer to her than he's closer to his own mom. I don't know who he was talking about. I don't know if he was referring to Duchess. I have no idea. But when you don't take care of home, people can come in and take care of home for you. So that's why it's always 100 to take care of whatever you got to take care of with your family, so it doesn't come back and bite you in the ass. Everybody makes mistakes. No one's perfect, especially if you're not given the tools to succeed and be a great mother or father.
like, that means more to me than coming out of somebody. You feel me?
And in all
Being, you know what I'm
honesty,
saying?
not to interrupt, but in all honesty, all he needed was the address. That's it.
For my
In
first
Jersey.
eight, they had
All he
given
needed
me
was the address.
15 months. After I did my 15 months, I got, what's it called? I had got extended another 3 months. And then all I needed was the address, but CPS wouldn't let me go back because
So he needed an address.
the people I was staying with,
So the people that he was staying with, he couldn't go back to them. So he needed an address. So basically, he needed either Sky's address or his father's address. How come his father's not saying his address? And maybe his father wasn't in his life at that time.
dude,
The foster parents you talking
yeah,
about?
the dude, like, whenever he got mad, like he'll take it out on me, you know what I'm saying?
So now he's explaining these adoptive parents. He's saying we don't know the side of the adoptive parents at all, but what we do know is he's saying that when the adoptive parents, the father, when he got upset, he took it out on this child. So this child was also mentally and physically abused. So now you got him thinking that he's not good enough to be with his mother. You got him thinking that he's ugly, and now he's also getting abused, and he doesn't have his mother or his father right now in his life, nowhere around. So he couldn't go back to the adoptive parents' home because of the abuse. So there was abuse with these adoptive parents, and we've seen Sky on TV saying that they live in a good life. They went to Peru or they went to Dubai or whatever. Doesn't look like it, sound like it, or whatever at all. It doesn't sound like this young man has been probably past the 5th or 6th grade in school because he was too busy trying to escape the tortures that he had at home and probably the tortures out in the streets, because when you don't grow up with your mother or your father and there's other kids in the community that surround you that got a mother or a father or both, kids tend to pick on you and make fun of you. Adults tend to abuse you and mistreat you because you don't have, no one there supposed to protect you from when you are a child. So when he goes to school, he probably had teachers that picked on him and people that picked on him because they know there's nobody protecting him.
I fought back for myself. That's when I caught a domestic case. You feel me? And so I could never live with them again. You feel me?
So he's saying he fought back from the child abuse from the adoptive father. That's alleged. We don't know if it's true. We don't know if he was just suffering emotional problems and went off on the adoptive parent. We don't know that. But what he's saying is that he decided to defend himself, and that's what happened. And that happens in a lot of cases when kids fight back their abusers at a certain time and point. When they get big enough and they get strong enough and they get enough courage, they fight back. Then they end up going to the system, end up going to the training school or a group home and things like that, or foster care.
And what happened to your brother when you were away?
From what I told, he started running the streets. Like he had some in football, he just gave it all up. And when I came home, like the sweetest thing to me was when I came home, I ain't tell nobody I was was dropping by there, because I wouldn't even stand there like that.
Nobody even knew he was out.
Nobody even knew I was out. He was the only one. Him and his mama was the only one keeping contact with me.
Yeah.
The only one. Them slide. I had some Nike slides. I had since I was in jail. They the only ones that ever sent anything. You feel me?
Mhm.
Anything at all. Money in my books. You know what I'm saying? Commissary. Anything. You feel me?
Mhm.
And I met him last year. Like that I
But
could
him
remember.
is your dad.
That's my real father.
Yeah, when he's talking about him as his real father is the only person that sent him something. So like in the last video, what do you think? Do you think Sky should have sent him any shoes, anything, or something? Even you, if you can't be there emotionally, do you think she could have been there financially, sent him something in jail, see how he was, maybe try to give him some counseling, some help? Because we see how she helps other people on the show and how like her lifestyle has changed, but doesn't mean that she has to help her son out. It doesn't mean that, because she doesn't have to. Clearly, no one has to do anything they don't want to do. So, but what would you do that if you was estranged from your child, but you knew they were locked up? Would you send items and put stuff on their books for them? Would you go visit them? He said he said he only had one pair of sneakers. And you know, I don't know if you know, but it's just that I worked in the prison system, like as a counselor and stuff like that. When you don't get stuff put on your books, or you don't have shoes and stuff, that's when other criminals can take advantage of you. Say, hey, I'm going to offer you this, I'm going to offer you that. And then that's how people end up joining gangs in jail, or getting abused in jail as well, and as well as training school, when they don't have things provided to them at all. And sometimes the state do provide the stuff, but sometimes the employees of the state take the shit home to their kids and their family, or whatever organization they belong in. So we'll see.
Right.
You feel me? So
But why do you say him and not
I'm
my dad?
sweating.
it still takes time to get used to.
So
Right.
So he calls him him. He still doesn't call him his dad. It's not like he totally, fully forgave his father for not being around. So he calls him him. He doesn't call him dad yet. So you can understand this boy is not trying to side. This young man, Genesis, is not trying to side with his mom's side or his father's side. He's just trying to get him where he fit in, as well as trying to find out who he is, and if there's anybody out here that actually love him truly. Because if he doesn't get that, you know, it's either he's gonna become a wolf, or he's gonna become a sheep among wolves, or he's just gonna continue to be in that cycle where he continue to get locked up and locked up and locked up. And we see, like, you know, on Black Ink for Sky, her being on the show and having popularity, and, you know, C's and Teddy and everybody else on the show, Duchess at one point in time, that helped her out, made her see that, you know, she don't want to go back to jail. She's not going to go back to jail. She's going to build her brand. She's going to do things to secure a good future, move out the hood, and she did move out the hood. So I don't know if she wants to help her son out the same way as people has helped her. I don't know.
You know, I like to call me dad. I like to call me
Pop, whatever.
That's my pop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm getting too old for that. Maybe if it was, we'd have had that between 7 to 15 of been dad, you know. Right now, he at the stage, he's a young man now.
Yep.
That sounds kind of funny to say dad.
Especially if you wasn't there.
No, I'm a reformed straight guy, okay? But I'm straight my life out because my kids mean more to me in the streets.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
And when my son's safe, I hope he can have a relationship with his mom. I'm gonna promote that to the utmost, and that's the truth. I hope he can let that anger go so he can go forward in life.
Because it's a lot
But
of
it's
anger.
fucked up, like, to all the people she encountered, you feel me? I still gotta go through them too. I still see them, you feel me? And so it's like all the people that she disrespected, you know what I'm saying? I'm her son, so what's their outlook on me? So for me to have to apologize for her, that's some, you know what I'm saying? I excuse my language, I don't wanna say it, but that's some bitch ass shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some people from my family I ain't even know. And it just so happened my mom in New York, and they trying to drive me to New York. You feel me? So it was just some crazy shit happening, like you can't,
Did she want to see you?
I mean, you can tell me if you want to see me. You tell your son, hey son, come here, I want to talk to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
She can do the same.
She's on my Instagram.
She's what?
She's on my Instagram. I sent her pictures when I got him.
She talked to the lady that supposedly adoption was never legal. Supposedly adopted. You feel me?
So he's saying that Sky supposedly talks to the adoptive lady, but the adoption was never legal. So so I guess that's where that legal issue comes in, at what the father talking about in the first video, that he didn't know anything that happened with the child and with his child, and on top of that, there's certain things he can't speak on because there's legal issues. So maybe he's probably filing something. So that's probably why. And this young man, Genesis, is saying that the adoption was not legal. So I guess they're going to be going through some paperwork to see what the father rights were at the time, and if he can actually prove that he could have been a stable father, and he or all that other stuff. I don't know if the court will hear anything like that, so we'll see what happens with that situation. But he's saying that Sky allegedly talks to his adopted mother that's really not his adopted mother, but she has not talked to him.
I talked to her the same day I went by to go see my little brother. The same day. So if you can hit her up like that, you could have sent me some my birthday, a card, I love you, or something. You feel me?
So let me ask you this, because you've been in jail and I'm listening to you and I hear a lot of anger. Do you see? I'm sure you've seen your mother fight on TV.
I seen her put her head down and swim.
What is?
He said I seen her put her head down and swim. So basically, trying to say his mom can't fight.
I was like,
what does that mean?
Down and swim. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I ain't seen no fighting. I seen her put her head down and swim. But I would never want to see my mother fight. You feel me?
So,
what kind of a look
he
is that?
said he doesn't never want to see his mother fight. Now the father goes, what kind of look is that? Oh, here we go.
It's unattractive to see a female fight regardless. I mean,
well, he's like, it's unattractive to see a female fight regardless. And, you can see that somewhere down the line, somebody taught him something. He doesn't have a whole lot, but he knows women fighting is unattractive. And I think that's also because he's still yearning for that love that he wants. And he doesn't want to see a woman hurt. So hopefully none of this backfire and changes where he becomes angry towards women, because, he's doing there's either one, sometimes a kid can go totally angry at women and hate women for what their mother has done to them, or they can go the other route and totally love women and want to be their total protector and put them on a pedestal. So I guess he has took the pedestal route. Hopefully it doesn't revert when he gets older and go to the other route. So that's why it's very important for Sky to at least have closure with her son if she doesn't want to be bothered with him at all, because she did bring him in this world. She did give him life. You just can't spit a baby out and forget about him, especially if they're not having that type of productive life. Like, they're not living the fairy tale, like living like Prince William and having a great life, and you are doing, actually, you have been doing better than your sons since you've been on Black Ink. It's not like that. He's talking about he had one pair of sneakers for like 3 years almost.
Go ahead.
And how many clothes and shoes and outfits do you have, Sky? How many makeup artists do you have?
Oh, wait. I wouldn't. That's not attractive.
A woman with children, a grown woman, you don't shed that light. You don't want that for your children to see out there fighting like some ratchet in the street.
I know they're talking about her being ratchet on Black Ink and fighting, but like, she knew her lane. Like, there's probably not many things that she's comfortable with doing, but being herself on Black Ink, kinda, and knowing what viewers want, knowing what producers probably tell her to do. And even though she seems like she does have anger issues that it seems that she portrays, and she says she does have anger issues, that she's fighting for dear life to stay on this show and make a career out of it. So maybe that's why she's acting the way that she's acting, because if she was boring, she wouldn't have blew up, and a lot of the show could have been canceled. Not only due to her, being wild, but that there's other people that's on the show that add to the factor of the show. But like, she's the standout person because of all the things that are going on. And also, if you go back to a bunch of episodes when she talked about her kids and her son and how they're doing good and she missed them, she wants to write them letters. I wonder if Teddy and C's knew the truth about the situation, or they was just blindsided too as well.
You know what I mean? Your children got to see this. This is the image you want to portray. How can you say that your children's gonna be proud of this? Would you be proud if your mother was doing that? Not to try to make you the interviewee. I know you ain't
Right,
right.
like-
I don't ask a question, but I mean, not asking you. I'm just the artist, whoever's listening out there.
Mm.
I would never want to see my mom on TV fighting for whatever reason. You know, you like that's some childish middle school stuff to be fighting over women.
I think it's sad. I can't.
She's fighting to eat. Really, she's fighting to stay relevant. She's fighting to be on this show. She's fighting to get that money. She's fighting to have a better life so she don't have to go back to the hood. She doesn't have to go back to do criminal activities or get locked up again. So that's why she's fighting, and she's kind of not gonna let anybody come in and steal her shine or take whatever she has, because she's using, part of the street mentality on this TV show. So if she feels threatened by you, she feels like you can come in and you're going to be the outbreak star, or you're going to take from her, or, majority of viewers are going to go towards your way, another person's way. She's going to fight to make that not happen, because right now this is her territory. This is what has been feeding her. So she's gonna fight for it, and fighting for it. If she was out there on the street fighting, it's the same thing, but she's just on TV fighting, and because more people are able to see it, like her kids and everybody else.
You can watch a show without it. Not know if I gotta turn my head because I might see my mama titties or her booty or something.
Okay, so let me ask you.
So we do see Sky's breast and her booty on Black Ink, and he was like, I don't know, sometimes I gotta turn my head because I don't know if I'm gonna see my mom's titty or booties, but they blank the screen out. They don't show it bare ass.
What do you think of your mother? What are your personal? I know you said.
You don't want to hear that.
I do. That's why I'm asking you.
No, I'm saying you don't want to hear that.
I mean, it's.
You can see that he's
It's
hurt.
Because if I
normal.
say how I feel, you understand it's how I feel, not what I'm gonna do.
No, not what you're gonna do.
But it's how I feel, and if I say how I feel, some people might take that as a threat.
No, we're not gonna do that. So let me say my question. What are your thoughts in all the experiences that you've had, and all the going to jail? What, and seeing your mom on TV? What are your thoughts about your mom?
Wow. That's what you do for fame?
That's
Really?
He goes, wow, that's what you do for fame. I understand what he's saying, but she's trying to eat, and this is the way that she knows how to survive. And right now she's on this show, and it's probably way better than working a 9 to 5. It's probably way better than being homeless. It's probably way better than only making, $200 to $300 a week. Some people do worse. But when you have children, that's why you have to have that talk. That's sad.
That's what you do? You know what I'm saying? Like, real friends don't come often, you feel me?
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's people that'll let you sleep on their own couch just to have a place to stay. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
And I was sleeping in rescue missions, and she's sleeping in mansions. Congratulations to her.
And he was sleeping in rescue mission places. He was homeless, and she's sleeping in mansions. That's some bullshit. But there's a lot of mental issues on all sides. But yo, throw some money. But I don't know. This is despicable.
You feel me? I ain't never seen nothing that big except in a Tony Montana movie or something, Rambo or something.
Well, after hearing you, me and Scott have a lot in common. I mean, I didn't give up my kids, but I struggled.
But you struggle with it.
Right.
And if you would you rather give them to a foster family or give them to their biological if you had the opportunity?
They biological.
So you can still see them.
Right.
So after a while, the foster parents wouldn't even let her talk to the kids. This is why I got a call at '09 because she had a no contact.
Mm.
You get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I wish her the best.
So he's saying that she had a no contact order in '09. Why? What happened? And if is that the reason why Sky wasn't around? Still doesn't make sense.
You know what I mean? I wish all the success in the world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't want no bad to happen to her. And still to this day, you know, I wouldn't let nobody put their hands on her in front of me. Like, come on, man. What kind of dude would I be?
Right.
Somebody like mom, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, she needs to talk to this. Well, I don't want nothing from her. I'm okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
It's not that I don't want nothing from. I don't need nothing from. You know what I'm saying? Nothing at all.
I
I didn't
think
even
you
learn
need
my.
that
I didn't
relationship.
even learn her full name till I was 17 years old.
I think that,
He didn't know his mom's full name until he was 17 years old. You know how mentally lost this young man is.
First time I
strong
ever
word
see my
is he
first
don't need nothing from her. But he do want that relationship.
Right. I think he needs it. He may not want it, but I think he needs that. He needs that, even if it doesn't amount to nothing. He needs that closure. He needs answers.
Now I don't need it because the definition of need is you have to survive. I don't need her love to survive. I never had her love from the jump because I'd have heard some fucked up shit. Now I want to talk to her sometimes, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, I
wanted
know
her
he
to sing
does.
happy birthday to me all them times, but she never did. Them Christmas, at Christmas I wanted her to give me a present. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All the times I bled, I wanted her to fix it with a band-aid. That ain't never happened. So I don't need anything from her. Fuck her money. Whatever she do, I love her. You know what I'm saying? As a mother, but I don't need you at all. I never, you know what I'm saying? If I ain't need you this long, I wanted you this long, but I ain't need you.
Okay.
That was some real shit. He said, I wanted you there when I had a cut to fix that. I wanted you there. If anything, Sky, you need to take care of the situation with your son. It's up to you. In my opinion, you need to take care of the situation with your son. That way he can continue and he can grow up to be a productive male because he needs that nourishing, nurturing relationship with you, or just to know that he wasn't ugly and he didn't do anything wrong. It was just your circumstances. And to he said he just learned your name when he was 17 years old, your full name. So there's a lot of unanswered things about him. And like I said, I wouldn't want him to go the wrong way, especially when his mom's alive and he's still alive. So make it right before any one of you guys pass away. And everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes some people mistakes are bigger than others. But I feel that you should reach out to your son and talk to him, regardless if he's doing an interview, if Dutch is involved or not. But he's your flesh and blood, and you wasn't around when he was growing up, so you can forgive him for any disrespect that you feel he has done towards you, because you left him out to the wolves. He was getting beat by the foster parents. He was in and out of training school and jail. The man didn't have any sneakers while he was locked up. He didn't even know your full name. People told him different stories, the reason why you don't want to be involved with him. So there's a lot of he said, she said stuff that he don't really know. So that's where you come in and you fix the situation, whether you have a relationship with your son or not, but to reassure him what happened and give him the facts of his life and his history that you know of, until he was taken away and you never spoke to him, and explain to him where you came from, what was going on with you, what problems you had and what things you had to deal with, and just ask for forgiveness and say, I'm sorry and I love you, son, and I'll be there for you now. And if you don't want to do that, but at least just tell him what transpired to what happened to him and why you didn't check on him with the adoptive parents, or why didn't you come to the adoptive parents' house to see, because now he's saying that you guys, it wasn't even a legitimate adoption, so you could have went back anytime and got your kids back, really. But I guess maybe the adoptive parents took the children, because the way he was saying, they didn't do nothing really admirable or anything that was really decent. So they probably, the parents will probably sign over temporary custody, or you sign or the parents, the adoptive parents, you know, claimed that this child was living in their custody for a while, so was able to get, you know, food stamps, medical assistance, and cash from the government. And then sometimes, you know, CPS or DCYF, they don't really do too. They'll just keep sending the money as long as the child is safe. And then the child wasn't safe at a time and point, so that's when he went to training school. And usually when they're in training school, the money goes to the state where the kid is supposed to be taken care of through the social worker. But sometimes the social worker and the people that work in the training school would take, you know, the children's money or the state money and won't give it to them. Find another way to spend that money, and, you know, and not give it to the child. And it's a lot of corruption, because there's nobody that's, especially him, because who's going to be there? He doesn't have any adoptive parents. They're not there because they don't have custody of him or any type of alliance with him. They know he doesn't have a mother, father around, so he's easy prey to make sure that they keep his money, they keep the stuff from him. So anyways, everybody, this is a lesson. Learn from this lesson. This is Sky lesson. This is what Sky has gone through, but we can all learn from this, and we can learn from Genesis and learn from what he's saying, because sometimes we think that the child don't want to be bothered, but this young man clearly said that he thought that he wasn't good enough, he was ugly, and all this other stuff. The reason why his mom left him and his father, he can't even call his father now because it's all new to him. So anyways, peace. I'm out.